G'day guys, welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be fitting the Openroad 90-degree quick release awning. It's one of those awesome awnings that has the added benefits of the swing out arms. Going to be doing an unboxing of this awning, installing it on the cruiser on the right hand side next to the rooftop tent, and then testing it out at Lake Hume this weekend. Should be good. In your pack you'll get the user manual and the instructions for installation. You'll get two really sturdy brackets. These were the same ones we had for the 270-degree awning, but you get two of them because it's a slightly smaller awning. This long bag here has two pegs, has all your pieces for installation, or your brackets, and it has two guide ropes at the end. The bigger bag has your lighting plug-ins, or your channel nuts and bolts, and it also comes with two spanners in there for you to use as well for installation. So for mounting it onto your roof racks, the instruction manuals have got a bunch of different ways that you can install it, depending on your roof rack configuration. It's got using the channel nuts. It's also then got the system where you use the bracket, which works really well for crossbars, and it's also talks through the U-bolt sort of methodology if you've got roof racks that are circular. A few ways that would be suitable for my car. I've got the Rhino rack, and then with the Vortex crossbars. These are a wider type of bar that Rhino rack do. So the two things that would probably be suitable for this, potentially what would be suitable would be a T-bolt that runs through the channel that's on these. The only problem is sometimes the channel isn't deep enough to house a larger heading of the nut, which is fine. These would probably be the best for a platform, like a Rhino rack platform or a base rack platform. These will fit perfectly in the groove. The best way for me to mount this is actually to use the brackets that they've provided on top, along like that, and then bolted on from the bottom, keeping that nice and firm along the bars. And of course, when you do it, to spread the weight as evenly as possible, I've got 3 bars, and the awning will fit perfectly across all 3, but I'm only going to put a bracket on the first and the third. So to make our life a bit easier, I'm going to measure the distance between the first and the third, and then we'll mark it on the awning, and we'll put the brackets installed onto there. And then once I've got a bit of a helping hand with another mate, we'll mount it up onto the roof and try it out. Yeah. So from center to center on the first and the third bar, it's about 1700 mils. So we'll mark that out on the awning and fit the brackets to it. So just because my roof racks are pretty solid on the car because the rooftop tent's already sitting on them, 1700 mil actually does go over where the leather sits on this awning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unbolt or unscrew these 2 little nuts. I'm going to feed the channel nuts through, and then I'm going to drill a hole through the leather and then push them back through. So they'll be sitting at as far along the awning as possible, giving it the best stability. Probably won't need to worry about screwing those 2 holes back in anymore because this will keep it nice and firm. And then put the other channel nuts down. And then once you're done, just tighten them up. Now that the bracket's already attached to the awning, I'm going to get these brackets, I'm going to put them over the top and actually do them up lightly, and then we're going to thread the awning through so that we're not holding the weight up the whole time. Cool. All right, ready? Cool. That's not going anywhere. We will be trying this out on the weekend, but I am just going to give it a crack now to make sure it's all holding tight. This should be a 1-person setup, so we'll give it a crack. Just a bit short, really. All right, so before you fold out for the first time, make sure you remove the poles. I didn't do that. It's also got a fold out storage area, which is really good. You can put your, if you've got a small battery pack, you can put your battery pack in here for your lights and have that hanging up. And you can also slide that along, which is pretty helpful. This does come out with a bit of force, so just be careful. It's pretty cool. So this is definitely freestanding as it is, but there is an extra pole as well, which you can pull across. and just comes across to the other side, and that locks out the top just for a bit of extra support. Now I'm sort of pulling on that a fair bit, and it's standing up fine. It does come with 2 additional poles, so if you need to, you can extend these out and put them in these joints here, and they just have a little latch there. But I mean, I honestly don't think you would need to. It's very sturdy the way it is. You got your cords for your lights. We'll just set those up now. Plug your extension cord into this one. Run this one over to this side. Plug it into the top. And then the lights just charge off a USB socket. So we'll just plug it into the fridge for this one. So you can take the cord just up into the bag, keep it out of the way. But it's got touch controls, so you've got yellow light, white light, and then a combination of the two. And you've got independent switches on both sides, so you can run one on white and one on yellow if you really wanted to, which is pretty cool. So honestly, this is a very impressive little awning. It would work really well, I think, if you had a 270 on one side and then this type of one on this side, because this is honestly so quick to set up. And it's a little bit lighter as well. It comes in at about 23 kilos, and you only need really the 2 brackets to get it done. So it's yeah, it's pretty nifty. So we're out here at Lake Hume, giving the awning a bit of a test run. It's a pretty awesome place to camp. Firstly, it's done really well. It is very windy out here at the moment. You can see from some of the footage, it is flapping like crazy as we go along. But it's got a really sturdy design, and it really showed when it opened up. Both sides absolutely sprung open very, very quickly. And the awning, even with the crazy amount of wind getting up and underneath it, it was still holding its shape. You definitely need, in these conditions, to use the pole that runs along the top, because the wind can jump up underneath there. But once that was in, it's holding rock solid. Obviously, you do have the support poles as well, but I'll be honest with you, I left them at home, so don't necessarily need them. It's absolutely crushing it right now. So it's got really, really strong struts that run along the beams, and they absolutely spring the awning out. It's actually pretty impressive how fast they shoot out. It gives you a bit of a surprise. We've obviously got a great amount of space under here with some very thick canvas. That would be great for both keeping the heat off your camp. It would also be great in any kind of weather. And there's also some zips on the edges of them, so I assume you can buy some enclosures if you want to install a wall kit onto this as well. It's a really impressive design. I'm actually very chuffed with this awning. Coming in at 23 kilos with a lot of features packed into a pretty compact awning. It's definitely something you should look at getting your hands on. Thanks for tuning in to this episode where we've reviewed the quick-release 90-degree awning from Openroad. Check them out on their website. They've got plenty of good products like awnings, rooftop tents, winches, all that good stuff. If you use the code RANGERTOURING, you can get yourself a little discount as well. Or check the link in the bio. That'll take you to some of the good deals. Cheers.